second chapter, we look at the foundations or template into which criminal justice research is built upon. And first we have to understand, what is a theory? A theory is a system of ideas that, when put together, helps explain something or a phenomenon. Theory and research and observations go hand in hand. Sometimes a theory will come before the observation of a phenomenon, and sometimes observation and research will help us generate new theories on things. Social science and criminal justice researchers look for patterns in everyday life. They look at our social norms, mores, rules, and observe things to be able to start developing predictions for behaviors. Not all behaviors in research have to be seen 100% of the time and 100% in every situation. For example, we just need to see something occur more frequently in a certain population for us to start developing some predictions of that behavior. Social science research looks at attributes, which are the characteristics and qualities of a group, a person, or a phenomenon that's happening. And it also looks at the variables, which are the logical groupings of those attributes. So theories help us describe the relationship amongst variables. And this brings us to one of the most important terms, two of the most important terms within all of research, including social science research. Independent and dependent variables. Independent variables are the cause, they're what influences something. And the dependent variables are the effect. It depends on the independent variable. For example, the type of defense attorney or how much a person pays to a defense attorney could be an independent variable in doing research. And the dependent variable is, is this person found not guilty, or do they get prison or probation? That would be the dependent variable. Another example is to the treatment of sex offenders. The independent variable could be cognitive behavioral treatment, and the dependent variable is, does the person offend again or not? Deductive and inductive reasoning exists in everyday life and is really important to criminal justice and social science researchers. Both are valid ways of looking at criminal justice research problems. Deductive reasoning, or deduction, looks at things that are general and moves to specific. A way of remembering this is deduction rhymes with reduction. So an example of this might be looking at a murder case where you want to rule out and narrow down your suspects. So somebody might have had an alibi, somebody else may not have had access to a murder weapon, somebody else may have been out of the area at the time. And that's an example of deduction, where induction is to increase. We're looking at specific things and then being able to generalize them. For example, looking at sex offenders. Many sex offenders were offended as children, and through enough research you're able to make that correlation where you may take a group of sex offenders, and it's been replicated enough times to where you can say a very good portion of sex offenders were sexually abused as children. So that's induction. There are three major categories of research methodologies: qualitative, quantitative, and mixed qualitative and quantitative methodologies. Quantitative methodologies are statistical, they're numerical, whereas qualitative methodologies are non-numerical. They're not, statistics are not an important part of these studies. What's important is the observation. It's the really going in and understanding what's going on to start generating theories. And once these theories are generated, a lot of times quantitative or numerical studies will help to explain those phenomena even more so, and really being able to predict future behaviors. An example of a qualitative study is having a researcher embed themselves in with a street gang and to really understand the workings of the gang. And then they come out with these certain ideas and provide those to other researchers, or they take those ideas and they research things even further themselves in a numerical way to, again, start looking at being able to predict future behaviors. And then the mixed methodologies are studies that have elements of both qualitative and quantitative research. Theory is a system of facts and laws that help to explain a particular aspect of a phenomenon going on in society. And when we generate theories, we want to generate theories objectively. We want to leave our emotions and some of our beliefs out of it unless they're based on fact. Because when we start generating theories based on emotions and beliefs that may not be accurate, that can have a very harmful effect on a variety of things. A hypothesis is an educated guess. It's expectations of what we're going to find in research, where a paradigm is basically our worldview. It's our schema. It's the way we look at reality in our world. And these can help us form hypotheses. Now that we looked a little bit at what is theory, theory is really important for research. There's theories about crime, and because crime is a major social problem in the United States and in any part of the world, the research that comes about because of these theories have a really big impact on the way governments choose to respond to crime and criminal behavior.